when you guys hear me talk about sexism, I never denied that it exists. There are men out here who look at women in a lesser role. But a lot of this, women accept it or went along with, especially particularly for women. And that particular group of women who've never been streaking violence. They've only played that game to manipulate their men or when they want to get out of doing certain things. In this case, I'm talking about Caucasian women, past and present. Now, during that time of the unrest, or even to this day, it's still unrest, but back then it was more in your face. It was a lot more honest back then. White women had no problem yelling that they was a victim of a crime. And a lot of times they wasn't even victims. A lot of times they were perpetrators. But the thing is, they couldn't let that facade disappear or be ripped away from the minds of their men, whether it be their sons, brothers, fathers, lovers, husbands, whoever they were in their life. So they played victim long as nobody really paid attention. But most of us who identify as black, especially black men, know that when they go out here and start talking about, I'm a victim, a lot of times they're not victims. A lot of times they said something or did something physically to cause harm, or even just a simple look. Now, there's been countless pictures and videos over the years that show their natural state. Now, I'm not saying all like this, but still a large number that figure I can do whatever I want and you can't respond to me because first, I'm a woman, but second, because I'm a white woman. Now, this famous image of the young sister going into the school, Little Rock. If you remember back when Oprah, probably back in the early 2000s, she had that white woman, the young white woman, where she's an elderly white woman now and an elderly black woman. I'm on her show because the white woman for years saw the video and the picture for her. Everywhere she went, she was reminded that was her ugliness, and she wanted forgiveness. Now, personally, I would never gave it to her because she knew it was wrong then, and she knew it was wrong at this point in history, or at that point in history. I don't know if she's still alive or not, to be honest with you. I really haven't followed the Little Rock 9 as adults, to be perfectly honest with you. But the thing is that Oprah had a aunt, and Oprah wanted to give her a chance to sit out here in front of everybody and say, I was wrong, please forgive me. And maybe she did want forgiveness. Maybe she realized she was wrong. But the fact remains is she got in front of white men and had that kind of hatred. And she ain't the first white female to do it. If you go look at them old videos, whether they're from the 1980s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, or even up until this point, you'll find some angry white woman yelling the loudest, being the most vulgar. But then when something happened, she claimed, I'm a victim. I've been touched. I've been abused. And when people like myself say, ain't too many black folks fuck with white women like that, especially black men. Because we know the consequences are a lot more dire than white men mess with black women. Let's just be honest. If you don't believe me, why today they still talking about O.J. Simpson? Even though he was found not guilty by a jury of his peers, they didn't accept that verdict. But they tell us every day as black folk accept the verdicts that they rendered when our women are under attack. Think about that for a second. Think of O.J. Simpson 20-something years ago. This still goes on. Y'all figure this should be not a relic of the past. No. What have we seen in the last 2 years? Well, actually a lot longer, but especially the last 2 years, this Me Too movement crap. We've seen white women confront black men, going into the restaurants, going into apartments, going into stores. Matter of fact, an elderly man was shot dead by a 21-year-old white woman because she won't take the law in her own hands. She's out on bail. So when I hear people talking about, well, Bill Cosby was taking advantage of all these women, I'm like, really? And these white women never got to say this black brute did this. They never went to the police department. A doctor, and you think a police department or a doctor, somebody would turn away a white woman saying that a black man, famous like Bill Cosby, forced themselves on her? Come on. This is why I told y'all have to understand history. You have to understand your daily experiences. I've been around some white women. I'm gonna tell you something. If you ain't paying attention, you slip up, they'll allow you in the quickness. Or you say anything around them, they'll run and tell it to somebody. And then when people confront them, I don't know what you're talking about. I had a coworker, and y'all heard me over the years talk about how she pulled her pants and her underwear down. I thought that I was a stereotypical black man. That I was going, oh my gosh, this white snatch, I just had to have it. Nope, I didn't bite. I ignored it until she realized, I'm standing here in a restaurant in an office area with my pants and my underwear down. That here it is. They hate us that much, but they want to throw themselves at us physically. Then when they get what they want, he raised me. He made me feel uncomfortable. This is why when I kept telling y'all the whole Bill Cosby thing just didn't make any sense. Because ain't no way in hell a white woman gonna sit around and not say nothing for no 30, 40, 50 years and not tell somebody, or somebody gonna say, you know, my friend said that Bill Cosby could. No. Given their history, given the things that they do and say even to this day, you can't put them in damsel in distress mode. I know TV shows and movies always want to make them as damsel in distress, but they're not. And if you're a white woman and you feel that I'm picking on you, so be it. But you know better. You can't say you strong and independent. Y'all the first ones to start saying that shit, and our sisters regurgitate it. And y'all laugh at black women when y'all do that. Y'all use them. Look how them black women created the women's movement that was protesting all over the United States. And y'all say, okay, it's time to get them darkies from my leadership position. Let's say they anti-Semitic. Remember, 65% of white women voted for Donald Trump. 65%. Remember Obama's run against Hillary? Who yelled at the most racism, the racial slurs? White women. Now, if this is not you, then you need to turn around and call on white women engaged in this behavior. Now, the reason why I bring this up, because I want y'all to remind y'all of this stuff that people seem to forget. The other day, a white woman in Mississippi decided that she didn't want this black couple to come into the park grounds. Now, mind you, the brother was a veteran, which she didn't know, but still, he's a veteran, his wife, and they had a dog. Let me read what his wife said. She said, racism is alive and well. Today was a beautiful day, so my husband, who is a vet, and our 2-year-old dog and myself decided to Google a lake to visit and have a picnic. We found a lake located in Starksville, Mississippi, and decided to visit. Not 5 minutes later, a truck pulls up with a white lady screaming at us. She jumps out of the truck with a gun and proceeds to point it at the three of us, simply because we didn't make reservations. After leaving, my husband stopped by the office and talked with her husband, their property managers. The husband tells my husband that reservations are needed for the lake. This is what happened in Starkville, Mississippi. Now, I told y'all, this stuff, racism still happens in this country. There are places that they don't want blacks in. And usually the ones who initiate the phone call or the exaggeration are Caucasian women. As I said before, not all. But this woman felt bold. She had a gun. And this, look at the image. Right here. Look, she got in the hand. Look how she walked up. She felt bold because all she had to do was say, a couple of niggers came at me. They were belligerent. They were violent. And people would have believed it. She came out with a gun. They tell you how they feel they protected. They know they can get away with a crime. That's why whether they're a police officer, teacher, doctor, lawyer, actress, stay-at-home mom, burger flipper, chicken fryer, prostitute, They know they're gonna get protected. They don't. And the thing is, they know you gonna be. People gonna believe you. Well, he must have been aggressive. He's a veteran. He must have had issues. He must have had a flashback. You know, black women can get wild. You see the videos where black women ready to fight. That's why I keep telling my people, y'all gotta stop playing to these stereotypes. She jumped out of her truck. Then usually, where a man at? Usually she claim, I'm dancing with distress. I need somebody to save me. What, I mean, think about it. All she had to do is say, excuse me. She said, you need a permit or reservation, as they say reservation, but here we say permit because in the parks during the summertime, the forest preserve, they have permits for people. Got so many people that have parties in the forest preserve areas. I mean, I want you to think about this for a second. I mean, really sit back and think about this. She didn't know these people. She just walked up to them and treated them like they was criminals. Now, we don't do that in our communities. They walk in and out of our community with impunity. That's why a lot of these murders be going on, these kidnappings and stuff going on in our community, and we be looking at each other. A lot of times it be dumb. I've gone in predominantly white communities, and white women will stare you down with that fake ass smile. And then 10, 15 minutes later, you see red or blue flashing lights. You doing a speed limit. See if I'm gonna get pulled. What you doing? Where you going? They ain't supposed to ask y'all that, but you know damn well where you at. You like, I'm on my way home. Where you coming from? You ain't supposed to ask y'all those different things. But it's usually these white women initiated this. Let me tell you something. I've experienced racism from white men, and I experienced racism from white women, and it's vastly different. They keep racism going more than anybody, and the white women who don't, they know these women do, but they would not call them out, shame them publicly. Every now and then you might get some non-famous white woman might do it, but she's a lot younger. This woman came out ready to shoot somebody. What they niggers doing here? This couple wasn't loud. It wasn't belligerent. It wasn't any of those things. That's why I'm disappointed in Kenan Thompson, Don Lemon, D.L. Hughley, Willie Williams, and the rest of these handkerchief head Negroes that went out there and basically played into the stereotype that Cosby had to have done these things to these white women. I mean, I want y'all to really sit back and think about it. A white woman ain't never been afraid to call out a black person or a black woman. Towns have burned down because of the words of white women. Men and boys have hung from trees, and girls and women because of a white woman. How many stories every year we have a white woman lying, saying something that isn't true? Now the place that people that own this place, they fire her and her husband. She need to be in jail somewhere. Cause what if she shot the person for no reason? We keep allowing people to get away with disrespecting our community, our people. And then they get on TV crying, I was traumatized. I don't know. No, you wasn't. You know exactly what the fuck you was doing. That's why I kept saying, me and other YouTubers kept saying, wait a minute, why y'all forgot all this history of them playing damsel in distress. Turn on TV, they play damsel in distress. The whole section argument started running real ugly head when Obama got into office. They take around. Well, the man, wait a minute, y'all can move in places and do things that black people can't do. And these same women that got black women think that the black men want them. Our black sisters need to understand, we don't want your men like that. Black men, yes, just not them like that. And when a brother sit there and say, yo, we ain't doing that, y'all swapping that. That's not what white women are saying. Wait a minute, y'all believe them? It kills me how they act like they never do anything wrong. They go out to clubs, they party, and then the next morning, I don't know if they had no camera. I got to lie and say I was drugged or I was raped. See, today with cell phone, they don't want to take a chance. So they got to put like, I went out to a party And I can't remember what happened. Yes, you remember what happened. You gave head to 15 dudes. And when you realized you was doing it, oh my gosh, what if somebody has it? So you gotta lie and say, well, I was raped, but you won't say with the 15 dudes were white. You sit there and say some random black guy did it. We as black people gotta stop allowing this. This chick need an ass whoop. Somebody need to put a gun on her ass and make her fat ass sweat gravy. The woman that called Mrs. Obama, she going to jail, but because she was stealing. See, they so hateful. They do shit to their own people, but they still direct their hate towards us because they feel I'm better than them niggers. I'm better than that one. She should have shot a damn foot off. She ain't the first one to go out here and do it, but the thing is that we set back and we keep making excuses for stuff like this. We can't. This woman knew exactly what she was doing, and she didn't give it down. She didn't care who she offended or hurt in the process. One of these days, we as black people are gonna stop saying enough is enough. Like a lot of these issues that we have, it's come from these women. They sit behind these desks, whether it be at the hospital, at Social Security, or when you go for take good legal advice. Anything you do, you got to sit around them, and they harbor this hatred. Ain't nobody doing nothing to them. They getting people spaces, and then they expect you to jump out of their way. I had a white woman. I'm walking down the street. Wide ass. If you ever been downtown, I'm pretty sure in your downtown areas, y'all know y'all got them wide streets, especially if they more up modern. Now if they small town downtown, you may not, but in a major city, I should say, I'm walking down on State Street, and this white woman see me coming. Now this is many years ago. You know, she got close to me and dared me to move out of the way, and I kept walking. I tried to take a goddamn shoulder off. At the hospital, when I went to the VA, a white woman tried to pull that shit on me. Too many white women can get away with this shit. And then I say it again: if you're not one of these white women, you need to call this behavior out. Because what she did was, if she pulled that white woman, I'm a white woman. I'm finna go out there and I'm gonna get in these niggas' face. If they don't jump when I say jump, I'm gonna shoot them. Then I go back and lie and say I was in fear of my life. Remember the murder of Emmett Till? She sitting walking around. She's still alive, and people ain't saying go after her, but y'all went after Bill Cosby, man who can't even see shit. The evidence against him is hearsay. She admitted on a stand of lying about what happened to Emmett Till. I hope this chick get what she deserves. Hope all of them do. Too many dead bodies are in a cemetery. Too many families have been destroyed because of women like this bitch right here. There ain't no damsel in distress. They create more distress with anything, but they not a damsel in distress.